Calling in from the Windy City, it's time for JW Fusion with your hosts, James and Wendy B.
Welcome to this week's podcast of JW Fusion. I'm your co-host, J.H. Calvert Barnes, and I'm here with the awesome and magnificent Wendy B, who is right so much.
You know you can never change the intro.
I can't.
Like you try and go straight and be all proper, I'm going to have an attitude.
I'm compelled to sing your praises and your wonder. I'm forced by the magnificence of your beauty, your wisdom, your insight, to exclaim to the world your glorious beauty.
Praise the Lord.
Welcome to the show, y'all.
Welcome.
We have an awesome show this week.
James, this woman,
she
showed up ready.
Yes, she's always ready. She's a
Fine.
powerful. This woman is.
Nail
we got
did.
to know each other doing Printers Row. We were next to each other at Printers Row year before last, and she not only is a business owner, tremendous writer, a unique writer, a prophetic writer. She is also gifted and has insight into your life, and if she's so led, she'll tell you about yourself. You know, so she's extremely gifted spiritually, as far as business goes. She has tremendous insight. I have a lot of respect for her, and we've adopted her as our little sister.
Yeah,
we've adopted her. So, baby,
I'm so happy. I'm so happy.
Introduce our guest, baby.
This is the beautiful, talented, incredible Adah Rawlings.
Welcome to the show.
Wow.
We finally got you here.
That was an amazing introduction.
Well, it's an amazing person, girl.
There. Thank you.
It's exciting to have you here.
Yeah, we're glad.
Thank you. I am so honored. Thank you.
Well, we
so
appreciate
much.
you traveling here to be on the show.
She got on the road for us.
She did, and we appreciate that.
Yeah, we
so
do.
Listen, we're not going to waste any minute. Not 1 minute will we
We
waste.
got a lot to unpack
We
with
got
her.
to do the unpack thing.
Yes.
So,
Oh, wow.
so babe, you're the unpack expert.
Am I?
So let's go. Yeah.
I had enough therapy to do. Adah, so tell us, who is Adah?
Well, Adah, it's actually two of them.
Okay, come on.
They are in the book of Genesis.
Okay.
One was married to Lamech. And the
So
other
wait, that's a
one,
biblical name.
Yes.
Okay.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yes, she is the
Wow.
second woman's name mentioned in the Bible after Eve.
Wow. Oh, my God.
Wow. Y'all, we got to go have Bible study after this.
Yeah.
Okay,
She was a sister wife to Zillah. And she was also married to Lamech and Enoch.
Enoch. Okay, so what does Adah mean?
Adah is a beautiful ornament of God.
Oh,
It's Hebrew.
that's a true
It's a female
statement for
Hebrew
you.
name. Thank you.
That's
awesome.
That's appropriate.
So what you're telling me is your name means God wears me.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Oh, my God.
I like the way you put that.
That is so powerful.
Yeah.
I like the way he put
And
that.
the way you say she is, it's true.
She is. She's very giving, and she made Printers Row a hoot. She really did. She really did.
Because this was your
Wow.
first, and you was like, that
was my first. It was a
help get through the
That
day.
was 20.
Oh, yeah.
What was that? 2018. That was my
18?
first one. Yeah, and
Yeah,
so much so
2018.
I helped her carry her books. We had books afterwards.
yeah.
I'm gonna help you carry your books.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
awesome. So biblical name, okay.
Oh, yeah. So
Continue.
besides that, that's who Adah is. But this Adah,
Okay.
this Adah is a mom,
Okay.
a daughter, woman of God. God wears me. I like the way that sounds. Author, entrepreneur, chef, and just the woman who just love life. I love getting up every morning.
Wow.
That's me. I like to tell people I'm 27, but 40 on the way.
Girl, you look good. You look good.
Thank you. Then I could be 27.
You can be 27, girl. You be who you want to be.
Okay.
Don't let nobody tell you who you are.
Nobody tell me I ain't 27.
So wait, babe, she say she a chef.
I know.
Did she know we like to eat?
I don't know. I know
she about to know.
I know she said she got some lemon cake in the car. I
And
know
caramel
that.
cake. And strawberry. I'm going to try to, whatever she want to bring in here, I'm
She don't
on
know.
it.
we'll eat cake for dinner.
Right. We're so bad. We're so bad.
Oh, wow.
So tell us about your business. You're a serial entrepreneur. Correct?
Definitely.
So talk about that. How did you go? How did your life go in that direction?
Wow, that's crazy. I'm glad you asked. I first started out as a cosmetologist.
Okay.
wow.
That was the first part of entrepreneur. I was fresh out of high school, went to cosmetology school, met the man of my dreams at the time. His mom and his grandmother are cosmetologists,
Okay.
and they had their own salon, so they offered me a booth in their salon. They had a unfortunate incident that happened in their family that changed everybody's life, and they were about ready to give up on the shop. And I was 19 years old, and I said, I'll tell you what, let me see what I can do. You know, I'll go in, do everybody clients' hair, make sure the bills paid, clean up. And I did this by myself during the time of the tragedy in the family.
Wow.
And that right there alone taught me responsibility, time management, bank deposits. They trusted me enough, gave me the security codes to the salon, the keys, bank statements.
You're
the keys to
19.
I was 19 years old.
Wow.
Yeah. And I did that, and I ran that shop, and they never lost their clients. And when they was ready to come back to
That's
work, they came back.
wonderful. What a
So
blessing.
you saved their business.
Yeah.
Yeah, she
I
kept
did.
it going.
Didn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You hear that, Bernice McNeil, my mother-in-law? I saved y'all business. So y'all should help me buy a house or a new
She
big
said
building.
it's time for a return on that investment. is
Yeah,
what she
no, I'm
said.
just playing.
That's
Love the
funny.
McNeils, though. Love them to life. I just had
Yeah.
to get them a shout out real quick.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely.
That is.
That's so. Were you dating?
I was in a relationship with their son.
Okay.
The girl's with him now. Same when I told him, I'm going to go find a new daddy.
Yeah, she just told
But
the
no, he's my
man.
best friend. He's
Okay.
awesome. And his family is awesome. And yeah.
So from there.
Wow.
Okay, so you obviously didn't stay in that business.
I did. I did the salon for 7 years.
Okay.
After that, became part owner.
Whoa.
After that, I started cooking.
Oh.
I started cooking after that. And when I met my son's father, he say, you a chef or something? I say, no, I just like cooking.
Yeah.
Hey, I just like cooking. So started going to church, and we used to have like this Friday night flight in the church on Friday.
Okay.
And the pastor's daughter would cook up these big meals on Friday night. So I just squeezed in the kitchen with her one day, like, what you in here doing? Let me do this. And let me make this, and let me make that. So I just started making the Friday night flight meals.
Okay.
And my ex-husband at the time was like, you know, you just catering, right? That's what you're doing. This is a
Yeah.
whole business. I said, it is? He said, we're going to make you up some flyers and business cards. So we made up some flyers, and the name of that catering company was called Yahweh's Table.
Okay.
Yahweh's Table. Okay.
Yahweh's Table.
Okay.
And I only cook according to the dietary laws in the book of Leviticus.
Okay.
Wow.
I don't cook anything outside of that.
Okay.
Okay, so there's a lot of people who don't know what that means. Can you like give us
So-
like a
so talk-
short what that means?
description
Okay.
of that.
There are 4 great major laws in the Bible. They say the civil laws, the ceremonial laws, and the dietary laws, and I forgot the other one. But the dietary laws is foods in the book of Leviticus, chapter 11, verse 1 through 47 of foods it is that the Most High say that you are able to eat, foods that are clean versus foods that are unclean. Now, of course, they say when Jesus came, you know, he
It
cleansed
changed it,
everything,
yeah.
and I don't ride with that. And reason being is when I read that book, it hits my spirit very hard when it says this is perpetual, this is forever, this will never change. It just hits me, and I'm like, okay, he's serious. And then when you look at even scientists and doctors that tells you the food that the Most High said in Leviticus were unclean for you to eat, you have doctors today telling you that this is the number one cause of obesity, heart disease, pancreatic failure, and I'm like, well, wait a minute. Why is this food now considered clean to eat again
Yeah.
if it's
Well,
causing
'cause
death?
it's- 'Cause it tastes good.
What people have to consider is that diet, the kosher diet, has not changed, and it is a superior diet. But the gospel, not the gospels, but the New Testament, the epistles, they're pointing to the fact that the Jewish people at that time were making a big issue as far as being able to have a relationship with God based on food. And it's not about the being born again experience. It's not about diet. Now, having a good diet is a good idea.
Right.
It's a God idea, obviously. And when he said it was perpetual, it means that this is a good way to eat if you want to live.
Yeah.
You're not just eating to fill your gut. You're eating to have a quality, a good quality of life. And what they're talking about when Holy Spirit told Peter, "Don't call what I've cleansed unclean," and they were talking about the Gentiles, because the Jews didn't want to have anything to do with the Gentiles because of their diets, because they weren't circumcised, because they weren't Hebrew, they weren't kosher, they didn't line up with the laws of the Levitical laws. But what God was saying was, look, my grace is sufficient. Yes, it would be ideal if they did this, but it's not required to be a born-again believer. It's not required to accept Christ into your life, because Jesus is those that are not against us are on our part. So you're right as far as the diet goes. It is perpetual, and it is ideal to eat in that way, And so, but anyway, that's the reason. And even to this day, people argue over different aspects of the Bible.
It's true.
Yeah.
And I think there are things that we argue over. We don't, instead of focusing on the hatred, the bigotry, the division, the separatism, the disparity of income and educational opportunities, instead of focusing on that, people are focusing on things that are not that significant and allowing the weightier matters to just go.
That's so
and
true.
allowing them to perpetuate.
And I like the fact that she said it hit her in her soul.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's what's important.
Yeah, and that's the thing. God set this thing up, I believe, where that's why I don't condemn anybody's belief system. I don't condemn anybody.
No.
It's not my job to condemn anybody. I live my life according to my faith. I share my faith in a conversation. I share my faith by opportunity, if it happens, whatever. But it's not about me condemning you or saying I'm right, you're wrong.
Exactly.
It's not about that. Only God is right.
That's it.
He's the only one that's right.
Yeah.
Nobody that's come through the birth canal is right.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. I have to agree with you again. And I love the way you put all that together, because there is a scripture even in the Old Testament, Leviticus, that wrapped that up. He said, if a stranger come and sojourn amongst you, you have to treat him as if he's one of your own.
Exactly.
If he wants to come in and serve your God, treat
Exactly.
him as if he's one of your own.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what happened in Egypt. When the Jews left Egypt, they weren't the only slaves in Egypt. The Bible says they left as a mixed company. They weren't just the children of Israel that left Egypt. They were a mixed company, because Egypt made slaves out of a whole lot of different people. And so when they left, there were a lot of people that converted to that faith. They weren't born from the line of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. They weren't born from that bloodline. They embraced it. And according to the scripture you just said, they were embraced and accepted.
I like that.
Yeah.
And it's a shame that
I love the glow and the smile. Like, she's like, yes.
because she has
That's so amazing. It's like chills.
because
Yeah.
she's genuine. That's
Yeah.
why.
Yeah.
But it's a shame that today, in our churches, among the different denominations, there's division. And you know what I believe God's going to allow to happen? He's going to allow persecution to come back upon the church. And then people are going to sing a different song in a different key. We're going to be singing the same song.
Oh, I love it.
I'm serious, because
That's true.
God's not going to allow anything that supposed to be bearing his name, and we're demonstrating behavior that is diametrically opposed to what Jesus taught, diametrically opposed to what the Bible says, and what many other religious teachings teach, which is to love one another, to honor God, love one another, honor your parents, to have respect for one another, if you see your neighbor in a situation, help him out.
Mm-hmm.
Don't look down in there and say, "Whoa, man, you in a hole."
Well, you shouldn't have been walking.
You should have been walking on that side of the
Just
street.
help, yeah, yeah.
Ooh, that's so true.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. You're wearing oh, no, I can't help you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I literally just went through that. Like, I haven't been in church for some years. And I was still doing in church in the temple of the body. I was still doing like studying at home or going to people's houses for classes. And not to get drained off the subject, but that you said it kind of hurt me in my spirit because I met this pastor through a guy that I attempted to date. And I was having an event with the young ladies with the group I was just recently with. So I was having an event and I invited their church to come out and sing.
Sure.
And they came because I did not join the church, and I was asked multiple times to join the church, and I declined. I just wasn't ready. It wasn't in my spirit to say, yeah, join this church.
You have to do it when it's right for you.
Right. So he told his choir members, as soon as you're done singing, get up and leave.
Whoa.
And I'm like,
Whoa.
why? And as soon as they got done singing, they got up and walked out in the middle of another minister speaking.
Wow.
He was speaking in the prophetic, and they got up and walked out. And I'm like, I asked the two of the members that were hanging back, like, what happened? Oh, our pastor told us as soon as we get done to get up and leave.
Wow.
I guess I didn't wear the right color to church one particular Sunday.
Well, you know
when I
what?
went.
That's again, that's the reason a lot of men don't like going to church, because of the fact that many leaders in churches, not every church, they exert control. To leading is not controlling.
It's not.
Leading means you're walking in a direction and people are following you. If you have to corral and control people to follow you, you're not leading. All right? You have apprehended a group of people who don't have sense enough to understand the difference. Jesus said, they that hear my voice, they come to me, they follow me. They don't listen to nobody else, they follow me.
Yeah.
So if the person isn't following Christ, you don't know what's in them. And the people wonder why they aren't blessed. They wonder why, I'm in church all the time, I do this, I do that, but my life isn't blessed, because you're following a man, you're not following Christ.
Facts. Your body is in church, but your spirit is not.
That's
I have
right.
to be led
Paul
by the Spirit of God.
Paul said, follow me as I follow Christ.
Yes.
Basically, he was saying that if I'm not following Jesus, you leave me where you found me.
Yeah.
Better not be wrong.
Yeah.
But anyway, get back to your entrepreneurship.
Oh,
She's
that
not
was
cooking.
for entrepreneurship. I've been following the spirit of the Most High God since I was 17 years old, and I know that for a fact. And I'm going to get into that part when we get into my other part of entrepreneurship. But started cooking, did Yahweh's Table. I went to this job search program one day, and they say, well, what do you want to do? I'm like, oh, I don't know. I like cooking. They said, okay, we're going to send you to this restaurant. I said, okay. So they sent me to a restaurant. I was supposed to do like 4 hours a day in this restaurant. So I go to the restaurant, and the owner, me and her sit down talking about what is it you can do, learning my skills. So long story short, me and her got to talking, jamming, built a relationship and a bond. And she say, how would you like to be business owners? You want a restaurant? I said, excuse me?
Wow.
She like, yeah, God sent you to me for a reason. I really need a partner. Things are falling behind. And I'm looking at her like, you don't know what you're saying? I cry a lot, because when God lead me somewhere, I don't know what it is he's doing.
Yeah.
And when I get there and he hit me with it, I'd be like, God, you set me up again in life. Like, you gave me all these tools. And I'm like, what is he handed me? Like, let's say I get a cake pan, an expensive brand new one that I couldn't afford, but I don't normally get a $5 cake pan at Walmart somewhere, but this one come from Cake Depot. Like, why did you just send this to me? Or a set of knives. Like, why did you just send this here? Or a brand new stove. Why did you just have this delivered to my house? And I walk into a restaurant to sit down to work for her for 4 hours and offer me 50% partnership in her business.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Me? You
Yeah.
just handing this to me because of the skills I have?
It
And
was more than your skills. It wasn't the skills.
It's not about, you know
It
what?
wasn't the skills.
Let me tell you what. This is something my pastor used to teach us. I was born again in an old-fashioned church. One of the most powerful men of God I think that has ever lived, Richard Daniel Hinton, was a powerful preacher, teacher, and a man who loved God, sacrificed his life to minister to people. And one thing he used to say, you will labor over here and God will bless you over there.
Mm-hmm.
You labored to save a business.
oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
You sowed.
Yeah.
You sowed skills
Yeah.
that, let me put it like this. They have people who are called corporate raiders. They come in, they gut a company or they salvage a company. They restructure that company and save that brand, that manufacturer, that organization. They take it and they make it better. But they take it from the people who founded it. What you did was you came in, you took their baby, nursed it to health,
Yeah.
fed it, educated it, and caused it to grow and to prosper so it could live, and gave that baby back to them.
Yeah. You took
So
care of it
you
while they couldn't.
sold a business to a family. So what God did was he gave it, he allowed that harvest to come back to you in the form of something that was a passion for you.
Yeah.
Not just a passion, but your gifting.
Yeah. And
It was your gifting,
And
so-
she was in front of somebody who understood God's work. Like God brought you to me.
And again,
Yeah.
it was someone that needed you. There are a lot of people that need you and they reject you
Yeah.
because they don't like the package. They feel intimidated because of your strength. You know, and you can't help it.
No.
It's not your. It's just like if you're in 6th grade and you 6'2". It's not your fault. It's not your fault. You
This is who
6'2".
you are. Yeah.
Right.
In 6th grade or 5th grade. That's who you are. And you can walk and step on the top of everybody in there because of your size. And because of your spiritual size, people have a problem with what they can't control. People have a problem with
do.
what they can't manipulate. If
Or what they
can't-
see in her
What they see, they
that
reject it.
they don't have.
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
why I don't show people who I am. I don't let people get a glimpse into all of me. I show them what I know they can handle. Because it's for them so they don't stumble. You know, and so we have to do that. Wendy does that. Wendy's really good at it. People meet her, they have no idea who they've just met. They have no idea the stature of the woman that they've met. You know, they don't know who she is, what she has, what she's accomplished, because she deals with you person to person. That's how you are. You deal with people person to
Yeah.
person. But
Yeah.
because of your strength is so pronounced that when I first saw you at our C-band meeting, I'm like, who is this lady? I mean, she was like, her energy was like Matthew on 10.
Yeah. Yeah.
Her energy level is just massive.
Yeah.
You know, but that's the whole thing.
And that's it's a beautiful thing. And just because some people can't handle Adah and all that means, or the pretty packaging, that's their business.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with you. God created such a beautiful human in you. And I don't know you well, but I told you she was at the house. And then, what was it, 2 seconds? Because I was flying in and out.
Yeah.
And later,
For
I'm
the
like,
training, I had the training
where
for
the little
the-
pretty
for the
girl that
writers.
was here? What happened? What's her name again? Like, when's she coming back? You just have a presence that
do.
the right
You do.
people, they feel it and they welcome it. People who can't handle it, that's their fault. That's their problem to deal with. You don't need to diminish who you are because you're great and God created you, and you follow where God leads you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
you
I'm
don't
a-
have to apologize to nobody.
And I
for
want to
that.
add this too, because the Lord just dropped this in my spirit, that the people who reject you reject the blessing you carry. Because there's a blessing on you. When Lisa Nichol does this, she brings when she has a retreat, like if she goes to Mind Valley, if she goes to A Fest, she'll invite people to her suite and have them just go around touching parts of her room, her suite. because what you're in proximity to, you're close to. What you're close to, you're close to obtaining. So if you can touch it, you can have it. If you can touch it, you can own it. And so the people who are around you, if they don't grasp and take a hold of the anointing that's on you, the gifting that you have, if just being around you and embracing you, your gifting of opportunity and big gifts will rub off on them just because of the fact they respected your gifting. When people don't respect the gifting of another, they miss an opportunity to be blessed.
That's good.
They do.
Praise
They
That's
miss
good.
Receive that.
Yeah.
They miss the opportunity. So
receive
don't
that.
ever when you see people who reject you or are envious or whatever, don't worry about that. That's not your job. Your job is to you follow on
To where
with
God
the leading.
leads you.
Now, I believe you said you got 2 restaurants.
Had to.
You had 2
in the
restaurants.
making of one being hand delivered back to me again.
Okay.
And right now I am the kitchen manager, executive chef at Retox Martini Lounge in Milwaukee. Yeah, that's my kitchen.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So now, did you grow up cooking in the kitchen with Grandma and
I
Big Mom?
did.
Okay.
I
Okay.
did.
So
and I hated
you a
it.
real cook.
You hated it?
I hated it. I did not understand at the time what Grandma was doing.
Yeah.
I have to say this part because I have a picture of it till this day. I was like 13, 14 years old, and it's a picture of me in the back of my grandmother's kitchen with my cousin, and we're chopping up onions and bell peppers.
She got
And
him on
like,
onion
why
duty.
do we have to chop up the onions
got
and
him
bell
on onion
peppers?
duty.
Yes, so it was just so amazing. Grandma would have us making gravy, and we had no clue what we were making.
Oh my gosh.
Grandma had us making sweet potato pie at 10 years old, just telling us what to do, sitting back, being
Yeah.
the CEO.
Yeah.
And I just started doing it on my own, growing up at home. Just started like, I want to make that stuff Grandma made.
That's cool. And that's the real food.
Yeah.
And you know what's interesting,
Yeah.
Adah, is I've heard stories about people. I've heard speakers tell stories about people who were cooks. They were chefs. And they decided they wanted to go into the restaurant business. And so the question was asked, well, have you ever managed a restaurant? Well, I can cook. I'm an excellent chef, but have you ever managed a restaurant? Oh, I can handle it. Well, after about 3 months of owning a restaurant, I think I'm going to go back to cooking because, man, managing people, they don't want to come to work.
Yeah.
They got an excuse of dealing with customers,
Yeah.
having to keep track of that. I'm going to go back to just cooking.
And that's okay.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
You can't go outside of your gifting.
Yeah.
Everybody's not intended
But she
to be a
got
manager.
she
But
saw
you do
she
both.
saw Grandma
I do both.
managing. She
I do
saw
both.
Grandma managing. She know how to manage people.
I definitely do both. And what I took on the easiest was the management and managing other people.
That was the easiest.
That was the easiest because Grandma taught me, of course, in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And when I did the beauty salon,
Oh yeah, yeah.
it was like I had to step in
Yeah.
and just do a takeover.
Yeah.
Like I just had to step in and take
It just
over the
wasn't
business.
hostile.
Right. It was a hostile takeover.
Yeah.
It wasn't a hostile takeover.
Yeah.
And that showed me a lot. And even now, I want to give my 2 employees a shout out.
You better. I know they
Wandi
listen like when
and
she gonna-
Atara. They in the kitchen right now at Retox Martini Lounge holding it down. I love those
Wandi
girls.
and Natara.
Yeah.
I love those girls. When I tell you, if I'm feeling ill one day or I just can't move, I could call either one of them. Can you please go into the restaurant for me if you free? I'm free, sis. I got it. And just
That's
they
wonderful.
go. And I love how if they feel like that they're falling under, they get to call me. And I
Yeah.
would stop what I'm doing. I really would. And I would go into their restaurant and get them back together and shift the energy. Then I leave and go home. Like, you got it for the rest of the day? They be
Yeah.
like, we got it. I leave and go home like
Okay.
they got it.
I like this story because women are portrayed most times as catty, backstabbing.
Not all women are like that.
Not all
No.
women are like that.
They're not. They're
Women
not.
collaborating
Oh,
is
yeah.
powerful.
We're in a different day
yeah.
now. Women
Yeah.
women who embrace that spirit of division and derision.
It's handed or receive it from what's in the media.
Well, what's happening is they're going to miss out.
Okay, babe, we coming up on a commercial. We'll be back.
We got a commercial
We'll be
coming
back.
up on the JW Fusion, and we'll be back right after this message.
This book is the story of Jameson Harold Donovan, who lives in the city of Sussex Falls. Feeling trapped in his dysfunctional marriage to his wife and a stranger to his own children, thoughts of suicide dominate his waking hours. Jameson discovers he was selected before birth by the Almighty to receive quasi-angelic abilities. Between the ticks of the clock. You're listening to JW Fusion with your hosts, James and Wendy B.
And we're back with our magnificent guest, the most gifted and blessed Adah Rawlings. We're so glad you're here.
Thank you.
We're having a very interesting show today.
Yeah.
A different flow.
It's real, too.
It is. It's
very real.
But we wanted you to
get real up.
Yeah.
We wanted you to get into share your testimony with our listeners, whatever aspect of it you want to, and how your testimony led into your book.
Definitely.
Oh, hold your book up.
Oh,
so
I got it. Let her talk. I got it.
All right. Well, while she holding it up, I'll tell you how I jumped into not my autobiography, but my testimony.
Yeah.
Real quick of what that book is. It's a true love story about finding the right man to fit perfectly in my life and what I had to go through to find him.
Okay.
And if you're smart, guys, you know who he is. But merging from my second restaurant here in Wisconsin, it didn't work. The second restaurant, it didn't work. It didn't work not because of me. Don't want to point any fingers, but I just walked away.
Okay.
I just walked away. I left everything. And when I walked away, I had quit my job. I had no restaurant no more. I'm still doing catering. It was like I had nothing but God, myself, and my kids. So I'm sitting at home one day, and I'm like, Lord, what am I going to do? He say, publish your book. And I'm like,
what?
I said, I do got a book. Now, in 2010, I was on the verge of suicide.
Okay.
I was pregnant with my son today. Yeah, I could definitely say he's here, guys. I was pregnant with my son, and me and his father wasn't seeing eye to eye, and I was literally in a dark, dark place where my mom sent the police to my house for a well-being check because I wasn't answering the phone. I would send my girls to school. Their hair wasn't done. Their clothes wasn't clean.
So you were
ironed.
depressed?
Very
I
depressed.
was depressed
In the
to
valley.
the point where I had a lot of friends sitting at home with me that other people couldn't see, but I did, and they were helping me plot
Good
on
God.
the death of this man. And
Oh,
as I take
wow.
him out, take yourself out too, and that baby don't need to make it here. And I'm like, okay. So one day I stood on a chair to climb on top of the bookshelf because he had a checkbook, and he used to always sign his checks and be like, here, just write a check if you need, or leave his bank cards or whatever. So this particular day, I'm gonna just wipe his whole bank account out. So I stand in this chair and I go on top of the shelf, and all of a sudden this force came rushing through my living room and knocked me out the chair. I'm literally pregnant. And it said right. And I'm like, whatever. I got up and went to go find something else devious to do. And it was a loud, strong, hard voice, and it was like, right.
Wow.
It scared me. So I ran in my computer room. I grabbed a green 70 subject notebook paper, and I
Okay.
grabbed a pen, and I just started writing. Next thing I know, 3 to 4 months went by. The 70 subject notebook was full. I sat down and I reread it. And I said, God, you just saved my life. Because 4 months went by and I never had a thought of suicide.
Yeah.
I never had a thought to kill nobody. God, you got me writing a book
Yeah.
to tell me where this pain and where this hurt is coming from. I'm sorry, my energy and I just got loud and shifted. But every time I tell this story or this testimony, it's so amazing because I know who my creator is. He spoke to me. He pulled me out of the pits of hell that I was swimming in on my own.
Yeah.
And when people say, oh, God is just a feeling or God is just a belief, no, God is someone, something, some being that grabbed physical hands of me, wrapped me around his arms, pulled me out of where I was at and set me still in one place and made me write this book. By the time I had opened up and closed my second restaurant, the book was already complete and finished.
Wow.
He said, publish your book.
Yeah.
I published this book on November 30th, 2017, and my birthday is December 22nd. 250 of them showed up at my front doorstep on my birthday.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what a powerful story.
So you heard an audible voice.
She said loud.
A loud. You know how rare that is.
People hear about that whispering or
the thing
nudging.
is, when God has to speak in an audible voice, we really been hard headed.
Yeah.
But it also shows that's His love.
Yeah.
He knows He needs to do that. He needs to speak to you to push you to action. And your book is it's a powerful book. And so talk about the story.
The story in the book?
Yes.
Oh,
Because the name of the book is not my autobiography.
Right. It's not my autobiography because when I was writing it, I didn't have a title at first.
Okay.
And when everybody kept asking me or telling me, oh, that's a biography, that's a biography, that's an autobiography, I would always say, it's not an autobiography. Like, it's not. Like, I'm just writing. It's not a book.
Yeah.
And like for years, they were saying, that's your autobiography. It's not my autobiography. And
There's
I
your
say,
title. Yeah.
that's the name of my book.
Yeah.
Because I don't want people to think it's an autobiography. What it is, it's a testimony. And some people could say a testimony is an autobiography. But for me, it's a story about things in my life that I've been through. And I did not even know that God had already allowed me to overcome those things. And once I found that out when I started writing, and I had to read my own story and not plan to write out my testimony, because as I was writing, I was overcoming the things that I was going through.
Yeah.
And when I got done, I say, you just sent me through a test. You really just sent me through a test. And I love my mother dearly, and I have to give her a shout out. Because my mother came into my home and she took care of my daughters while I just sat and wrote.
Wow.
I wasn't there for them for like 4 or 5, 6 months. I was pregnant with a son. I neglected myself. But I listened to the voice of God, and He sent me back up, and He sent me help because He knew He had me on a mission to save my own life. And today, that boy that I was pregnant with, his name is Jadon. Even though you didn't ask, but I have to tell you, that means grateful and thankful.
That's powerful.
Jadon.
Jadon is Hebrew as well. His name is mentioned one time in the good book, the book of Nehemiah. He was part of the team that helped build the walls to Jerusalem.
Okay.
Wow.
And that's the name that God gave me to name that boy, and he's 8 years old today.
Wow.
Well,
Today, well, his birthday May 14th.
Okay.
But
Okay.
today, you know,
Yeah.
he's 8 years old.
That's a blessing.
He's my blessing.
That's a blessing. And it's funny, I wanted to just quickly go back to that valley because I know the valley. And people who've never experienced the valley or they're in denial about the valley, when you're in the valley, that's when the evil forces work best.
Yeah. When you're weakest.
You weak.
Yeah.
You're broken.
Yes.
And whatever comes in is like, yeah. You know, like for me, it was drinking. It was being promiscuous. It was just whatever I wanted to do. I didn't care. But God will bring you out of that.
Oh, yeah.
And the fact that He sent your mom. So don't say, I didn't take care of my girls. Yes, you did. You did. You were raised by a powerful woman, which is how you're powerful. And she stepped in the gap. God put her in there like, He had you doing something.
Yeah.
And so He put someone in place to take care of your kids
He did.
while you did what you were being told to do. You know?
You know, I cry a lot, and I always have to say this: the power of the Most High God is real. So it'd be more of tears of joy, tears
Yeah.
of
Sure,
gratefulness,
sure.
tears
Yeah.
of happiness. Because when I do look back, what's that song? As I look back
over
over
my
my
life.
life, you know, I look at it and I say, wow,
Yeah.
that was you.
Yeah.
And sometimes I break down in tears just giving them thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just saying thank
And if
you.
more of us thought that way, most of us have gone through something.
Yeah.
And if you think of where you've been and where you are, even if that's not the place that you want to be or that you have planned on being, you've come through some stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And you got to be thankful to God for that.
Yeah.
Because He did it.
Definitely.
So thankful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because there are other people, especially in our present day society. There's so much depression going on. People they hide behind it, they bury it, they hide behind other things. They hide how they're actually feeling.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people who are contemplating suicide. They're contemplating escaping their pain because they don't know, they don't understand that God is real. He's not a fairy tale. He's not fictitious.
Not at all.
We didn't just come here through evolution. I believe God created us.
Yeah.
Now, I wasn't there at Genesis 1:1 when God created the heavens and the earth. I wasn't there. You know, I wasn't there. I wasn't there when Jesus walked the earth. I wasn't there when the Bible was written. But I know I was there when God walked into my life, when I was snorting cocaine and PCP and smoking marijuana and wanting to be a hitman and wanting to do all these different things, that he came in and allowed things to happen to me that caused me to look for a light, and then took me to the light.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have sense enough to find it on my own. He took me to the light.
Yeah.
Say, here's the light. Do you want to get out? Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. The answer is yes. Affirmative.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know. And so we all have a story.
Yeah.
We all
Every
have
single
a
one of
story,
us.
and every one of our stories is unique and different because we got our own unique fingerprints. Our irises are unique. Our DNA is unique. Nobody else has our fingerprints. Nobody else has the same iris pattern. No one else has the same DNA
Right.
as another. It's all individual and unique, which means each of us have a unique destiny, a unique path. It may look the same, but it's not.
It's not.
There are other people who have owned restaurants. There are other people who have wanted to commit suicide. There's other people who wanted to eliminate their mate, but they weren't the same as your situation because you're unique. And then God takes our pain. He takes the things we've been through, and then He has a way of putting it through a process of grace where that thing becomes a story. It becomes a tool. It becomes medicine.
Yeah.
It becomes a balm to bring healing to someone else, even if it's just one person.
Right.
It could be one
As
person.
individual as our stories are, our stories can help someone else.
Yeah, we have a friend of ours, a close friend of ours, and we didn't know this. When she came into Wendy's life, we embraced her as our sister, and she told Wendy later, if it hadn't been for you guys, I wanted to check out of here.
Wow.
We didn't
Yeah,
know
we
that.
had
All
no idea.
we did was love her,
Yeah.
encourage her, tell her that you're talented, you're beautiful, you're gifted, and push her into believing and showing her and teaching her
Yeah.
this is how you tap into your power. This is how you tap into what God made you.
Yeah.
It's in there. God put your gift where you couldn't miss it. It's inside of you.
It is.
But she was so deep in that valley, again, she couldn't see that.
And you have to get down when somebody's falling into a hole and you know how to get out.
Yeah.
Looking down in the hole, as I said earlier, you're looking down and say, oh man, you really fell in a hole. You shouldn't have did that. You don't necessarily throw them a rope. What you do is you get down there
Yeah.
and you say, this is how you get out of it, because I've been in this hole. This is how you come out.
Yes.
And you teach them how to climb out of that
Yeah.
hole.
Yes.
Because if they go back,
They know how to get
they
out.
know how to get out.
Yeah.
And then beyond that, they can teach the next hole.
next person.
Because
Yeah.
there's another hole
Yeah.
right down the road
Yeah.
that somebody's in there hoping a light will come to help them get out of that hole.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then
You
you
know-
know also as you're going through your life where the holes are, so you don't even go down them.
Yeah. Well, you shouldn't.
Right. I mean, but you learn in the process of learning how to come out of that valley. You know how, like, I know my triggers. I'm not bothered with nobody who is going to help put me in this hole.
Yeah.
Right. You can't.
I mean, it's not personal. You go with God, but I can't get down with you
That is so true.
because you're going to take me to a place I don't need to be. I've been there.
And you
know
have
what I'm saying?
Refuse to go back.
You can't. You have to become violent with your defense of your sanity.
Yeah.
You have to become violent
Yes.
with the defense of what God has given you.
Yeah.
Because if you don't violently defend it, the environment around you will seek to take from you the joy, the peace, the gentleness, the goodness, all the wonderful things God has given you. That environment is waiting for you to just stumble, for you to trip, for you to become doubtful of God's grace. Oh, there she go again. Come on, y'all, let's go.
Yeah.
She in the dark again.
Oh.
Let's pull the plug, put in the dark all the way.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and that's not God's plan.
It's not.
So that's why it's vital for you the way you're sharing your story, and don't be discouraged because someone may not want to readily hear what you're saying. Your book will live long after you're gone. That book will be a blessing to people after you're gone.
Oh, yeah.
There are books right now that I own by E.W. Kenyon, books by Dr. Kenneth E. Hagin, and books by other men from the 20s and the 30s that are gone, but their books are still blessing people.
Yeah.
You know, and so that's why it was vital for you to write that book. It was essential. That's why God. How many writers do you know God spoke to and made them and told them to write?
Sat her down
No.
and isolated you with those words.
I definitely know I was one of them.
I
So
mean,
after reading your book, after finishing your book and publishing it, who is the person you want to be touched by your book?
Oh, every person, man, woman, or child in the world that feel like that they don't have a voice, that they don't have a home, that God isn't real. Or you know what? Even if they don't believe in God, if you believe that we evolved from evolution, if you believe that we just a ball of energy, tap into that. Tap into your highest power, your greatest being, and know that you can control your outcome no matter what somebody tell you. It does not matter. If you accept what they tell you, then it will be. But you could say, no, that's not me. I'm beautiful. I'm this person.
Yeah.
I want my book to touch every person like that, no matter who it is. Childhood secrets, punishment, how you really feel about your 6th grade teacher. If your 6th grade teacher says something inappropriate to you, you know, don't laugh and turn the other cheek.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
don't do that.
Yeah.
Tell somebody.
Yeah.
If it's your neighbor, if it's just you writing it down on a piece of paper, putting it in a bottle, letting it float to Michigan somewhere, write it down, tell somebody. Don't hold on to these secrets, because these secrets will tear you down in the inside. They will start from the inside and come
And
out.
eat you up,
and eat you alive. You would think you a butterfly, a caterpillar turned into a butterfly.
so what you're
Wow.
saying is your book inspires courage.
Encourage.
And courage
Definitely.
is taking action in the face of fear.
Yes.
And I'm going to say this, that I say this all the time, the only force that exists that is able to destroy fear is God's love. God's perfected love drives out, casts out, decimates fear. And from what you're saying, it sounds like that's been your experience, that God's love for you is the force through different things, through the restaurant business, your writing, your personal relationship, raising your children, and even the people who work for you right now, your employees that work for you, your principal employees, your love for them, when they're facing fear, they call you. Because you carry, because of what you've been through, you've been, I would say, inundated, immersed in God's love. So you carry it. Wendy has that. She carries God's love in her. And it's not about religion or how many scriptures you know or how long you've been a believer. It's not about that. It's about your personal experience with God. The man at the radio station that we're on at Artist First Radio Network, I call him Z-Man. He says, call me Z-Man.
Oh, wow.
This guy is a man who has the love of God in him. But to talk to him, it's not readily apparent. But he has God's love, and he hears. I believe this man has a connection with God in his own way, because he invited us to be on the station after he interviewed me about Between the Ticks of the Clock, and we had an awesome conversation. And he invited us to be on the station, and I was not even considering being on the radio, but because of God's love in him, that enabled us to establish this program and to work on it and to build it and to improve it to where it is now. We're able to show our love to other people, to promote their platforms.
Wow.
Because that's what we do.
Yeah.
We promote people's businesses, their ministries, their calling, their gifting. In your case, all these apply.
Yeah.
Amen.
You know,
Yeah.
so
Amen.
so that's our whole purpose. But God's love is the underlying commonality that's present. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I do.
You know, so it's vital.
We get joy from showing off our people.
Yeah.
I
From
like that.
from
I like that
telling
word,
about
joy.
their stories and
Yeah.
pushing you forward.
Oh, yeah.
and celebrating you and who you are.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's awesome.
I think that's something that's not. I think people don't celebrate one another enough.
They don't.
You
And
know?
that's why I love doing it.
Yeah.
Everything that I do is about celebrating
Yeah. I
someone
mean,
else.
I'm a big believer in promoting. If you're doing something positive, everybody needs somebody.
Yeah.
Everybody needs somebody. And sometimes you may not know what you need, but God's love does.
Yeah.
And his love will provide
Yeah.
the connection, the avenue, the people,
Yeah.
the person, the location. Just like you went to that restaurant
Yeah.
to work for 4
I'm
hours.
just going to get a job.
All right.
Yeah. So go get a little part-time job, work
Yeah.
4
You
hours.
and then you get offered ownership.
Yeah.
Exceedingly and abundantly.
Man, that's a blessing right there.
That is.
So what you got? What's going on next? What's going
How
on
you just
next?
going to
for
take
Doc?
that out my head like that?
'Cause
I was
that's what
about
I
to
do.
ask her that.
I saw it sitting there.
I was just like waiting for the, okay.
I saw it sitting there. I don't want you to have to exert yourself.
Thank you, sweetheart.
I wanted to,
I was like, he snatched it right out
I
of my
did,
head.
I
Like,
did. I
what's-
do
What
that.
I'm talking about. Well, that's what I'm waiting on next. For that man to just snatch my thought right out like that. I'm single. Yeah.
And she's beautiful. I'm gonna need y'all to tap into the YouTube and see this beautiful woman.
No, but what's next is restaurant. I just completed a tour with the Art of Transparency promoting my book. The year before that, in 2018, I did it with the Chicago Black Authors Network, traveling, promoting my book. And now it's time to sit down and focus on the number one gift that the Most High did give me, which is cooking for his people. And pushing out all the other restaurants in the area that's feeding my people poison. You gotta go.
Okay.
She got the
I'm
head
coming
moving.
with the takeover, and all my keto queens out there, and my vegan queens, the vegetarian queens. Come on, pop up right on my block, right down the street, right next door. There's room and
You
money
know we
out here and food for
vegetarians, right?
everybody. That's what I'm talking about.
Wow.
Shout out to my girl Anomaly Catering. They're vegetarian, so we got to get on it and get them a meal down here.
What she said.
Yeah, I got a whole
What she
team,
said.
and I love it because God just started placing, again, he like just starts setting you up with stuff,
Yeah.
and you have no clue what he's doing. So he put a good girlfriend of mine in my life I went to high school with. She is like the keto queen. She knows how to do it all, so I don't have to research and study and find out how to cook it because that's what she do.
Yeah.
And then he put the vegan in my life, and she has her own catering company. And he gave me the vegetarian, so I'm like, okay. And then the restaurant I had, the second restaurant, the owner called me. I don't know if you guys seen a live video I did early this year. He called me and said, yeah, just waiting on you to come get your restaurant back. Where you at? I'm like, excuse me? And what's so crazy about it is, I ain't gonna go into the live, but, guys can like me on Facebook and watch a live back in January about me in a restaurant and God's testimony with that one. But as of Tuesday that just passed, he fell kind of ill over the course of the month when I was supposed to go back in April. I went to see him, and the guy told me, he sold the building. I said, he sold the building? The guy said, yeah. I said, with all my stuff in there? So the man said, well, what's your name? I said, Adah. He like, Adah.
Wow.
I said, yeah. He said, oh. And my girlfriend and my kids were with me, and they standing there looking like, he said, yeah, we can't rent the kitchen out to nobody but you.
Wow.
I say, what? And crazy thing is God just sent me this whole team already.
Yeah.
I just did Farm Aid. So I went chefing down in Farm Aid, and they just, you can have those knives. You can have those pans. You can have those buckets. And I'm like, why is they giving me all this catering, cooking stuff? The setup that God keep doing to me.
So what you're telling me is this man sold this building.
He put in the
but
paperwork.
Maintained
he
the
put that
space
in the paperwork.
for your restaurant.
Yeah. Don't you dare get it as nobody but her.
That cannot be rented out to no one but me.
Oh my God!
And that's favor because
awesome.
of your obedience.
That's awesome.
Over the years.
Again, it goes back to that first restaurant because she sold her talent, her time, her gifting into that place, and probably your own money.
Yeah, I
into
did.
that place.
I did. I invested a lot of money.
Yeah.
I mean,
but you did it from your heart.
I mean, because she walked away. Okay, here y'all. You got part ownership, but you didn't get the whole thing.
Yeah.
They were able to take a break, come back fresh, ready to go, give it another go.
Yeah.
But because of your labor, you saved that family's legacy.
Yeah.
And plus, with the tragedy, whatever the tragedy was that they went through, that allowed them to work on that healing.
Yes.
Because it's one thing to have a tragedy and you've lost something else in addition to that.
Yeah.
That extends the grieving process. But to know that you're grieving and something that your baby basically is being taken care of, that helps the grieving process.
Yeah.
So you helped with that.
Oh yeah.
And what's a lot of people I would venture to say is like, girl, that ain't your business. What you in there? That ain't even your business. Them the people you got to, close the door.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you go because that's not what I want to hear.
I'm sorry to cut you off. I need you to give the name, location of your restaurants in Milwaukee.
In 30 seconds. Go.
In 30 seconds. Go. Okay, you guys can see me every Sunday for Soul Food Sunday in Milwaukee, Wisconsin at Retox Martini Lounge, 6901 West Brown Deer Avenue. If you can't find it, it's next to the post office. Pretty soon, within the next coming months, you can find me on 91st and Silver Spring at Crispy Crunchy Kitchen. That name will be changed and taken down. And you can find that story about what that tragedy was for this family in this book, because I go into detail as to what happened to that family and the tragedy.
And that book is?
At Walmart, Barnes & Noble, iTunes, iPhone, Kindle, every bookstore in the United States of America. And the libraries.
I love you so much.
Not my biography, my testimony.
Yeah.
We need you back.
I can't wait to come back.
Oh, we need you back. Thank you so much for being on our show.
Thank y'all for having me.
Well, that's our show for this week. This was a heck of a ride. I told you. It was a heck of a ride with Adah. We're so glad you came.
Yeah.
Wow.
But until next week, this is J.H. Carpenter Barnes, and I'm here with
Wendy B.
We'll be back next Thursday, 6 o'clock p.m. on the Artist First Radio Network. Until then, allow God's grace to continue to flow in your life as a mighty river.
Be blessed, everyone. Hi, this is Wendy, and welcome to The Wendy Life. We are celebrating some unsung champions in our community, the disabled community. I have been a mom of disabled children for 21 years, and I look to bring light to this community. We are going to talk to you and celebrate therapists, teachers, doctors in this community. We're going to talk to the special needs community themselves, people who are rocking out this life, despite their disability, showing us how to live our best lives no matter what life throws at us.
The Wendy Life. New episodes every second and fourth Friday on the Road to Eternity channel.
Thanks for listening to JW Fusion with your hosts, James and Wendy B.